Our friend Joe Kahn says, "Hey coach, I love the stories you tell about your life, and you mentioned when you were 19 you saw a man get shot to death. That is true, 100%. Could you please tell the whole story? Thanks." Okay, yeah, man. When I was 19 years old, I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Argentina. I was in a town called Granburg, which has a lot of what are called villas de miseria, villages of misery. They are slums with houses made out of garbage, like Hoovervilles back in the Great Depression. There is no plumbing. Instead of toilets, there are open sewer trenches along the sides of the muddy roads, which are never, ever paved. There are mangy dogs that look like zombies running up and down. They are third world slums. There's a lot of poverty. There is a lot of crime. So I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and what the missionaries for the church do, they invite people to be baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ. We go around and teach people about Jesus, to be baptized for the remission of sins. And what is a sin, my friend? A sin is nothing more and nothing less than knowing the will of God and acting contrary to it. Anyway, so I was about to walk down a certain street. And missionaries travel with a missionary companion. And my missionary companion, a guy named Matthew Gorley, he stopped me and he said, "Wait, let's not go down that road just yet. I have a feeling about this. We shouldn't do it. Let's stop at this house instead." So instead of advancing up the road, we stopped at this house and we clapped outside the door, because you clap outside the doors in Argentina. You don't knock. That's how you knock. And then the people come out. And out came this old man, a man in his 80s, named Gilberto Pereira. An old man from Paraguay. His native language was Guarani. Guarani is the language of the natives of Paraguay, parts of Brazil, parts of northern Argentina. And he taught me how to say a few phrases in Guarani, like, "Get away from me, you filthy monkey." I don't remember that one. "I love you a lot, you pretty girl." Rojaihu kunyata ipora. A phrase that never really came in handy as a missionary, because missionaries don't date, we don't go chasing girls, and we definitely don't flirt. For 2 years. So we're talking to Gilberto, talking to him about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Suddenly, boom, 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 gunshots. We look up the road, right next to us, right where we would have been standing had we walked down that road. There is a gang of young men executing another young man. He is down on the ground being shot to death, clutching his midsection. Boom, 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 and they will not stop. And they keep going, and the blood is leaking out, and I see it, and the smoke is right there, and I smell it. And my eyes are wide open, because I had never witnessed death before at that point in my life. I have seen it since, but I had not seen it at that point, and I froze, because that is one of the most common human reactions, probably the most common human reaction to that level of violence, is to freeze. We think it's fight or flight, but no, freeze is generally our go-to move as human beings. And I froze, and I watched this, and I saw a man die right in front of me. From the merciless onslaught, he was down, he was dead, and boom, boom, they kept shooting. And they wouldn't stop until they were absolutely 100% sure he was not coming back. And the most sobering moment came a few seconds later Gilberto looked up the road, and it wasn't very far away, 30, 40 feet maybe. And Gilberto said, "Oh," in such a deadpan tone, indicating that this was the norm, this was how it was in his neighborhood. "Oh," he said, "that's Jose. Too bad. He was a good kid." His expression didn't change. Gilberto had been hardened by such experiences over and over again. Gunshots, I heard them every night in that neighborhood. The Villas de Miseria de Buenos Aires, Argentina. In places like Granburg, Jose Sepas, Kilómetro 29, I think it was. I don't remember the exact number. It wasn't even a town. It was just the name of what kilometer on the railroad it was. Don Torquato, Tortuguitas, Bella Vista, they all had their Villas de Miseria. But Granburg, the gunshots at night, every night. Thinking to myself, there's another one being shot, being executed out in the street. Oh. And when I would knock on the doors of the homes of the people in this predominantly Catholic country, they would say, "Why do you come to my door? I already know about Jesus. Why are you even here in this country? We don't need any more religion." And then the gunshots at night. Boom, boom, boom. Saying quite the opposite. Religion, my friends, is not what you believe. It is not the words printed in a book of Scripture. It is not the church building and the congregation inside it with which you associate. It is what you do. It is how you live. If any of you dare to say, "I don't believe in religion," that is your religion. It's what you do. It's how you live. It's who you are. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, said James the Apostle: to look after the widows and the fatherless in their affliction, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. Those are actions, my friends. I came back day after day and I spoke with Gilberto. And I heard those gunshots every night, and often throughout the day. And I saw the crime, and I saw the ugliness of the world at its worst, day after day. People being so ugly and awful to other people. And in spite of having lived in that and through that, man, this man Gilberto became a religious man, and by that I mean he became a man of action. And I saw Jesus, not in his words, not in his profession of belief, but in his action, in his face, in his body, in his countenance. Countenance, that's an interesting word. 200 years ago, that word didn't mean face, it meant your behavior. that man found his religion. And he changed. And he looked after the fatherless and the widows, and he kept himself unspotted from the world. What a world to be spotted by. So that's the first time I saw a man die. Ask me about the second sometime.